So I'm Tanya Theobald. I'm the Enquiry Desk Supervisor for the county, and I have 6 desks I'm responsible for. This year will be my 17th year in force, and I've done 11 years as an Enquiry Desk Officer. The main roles of both Enquiry Desk Officer and Supervisor are myriad. There is so much that we do. You could have somebody who's lost their purse, or you could have a rape victim that comes in very distressed, wanting to speak to an officer. So we deal with immigration signers for the Home Office, and we also deal with car seizures that have been seized by officers for no insurance. Another massive part of what we do, which is really important, is sex offender registrations. We tend to deal with a lot of things that possibly are not police-based, but when people are struggling with something or they don't know where to go, they automatically come to the police. But my biggest personal achievement from an actual customer base, I had a gentleman come in to Wellingborough. He divulged he'd taken his colostomy bag off. He'd taken a massive overdose of morphine-based medication with the intent to kill himself. He'd been diagnosed with terminal cancer. He was an ex-soldier, and he was very proud. He didn't want to be seen as weak. We called an ambulance, obviously, and after about half an hour or so, he was actually lying on the floor, leaking bodily fluids from where his colostomy bag should be and slowly fading. It was quite distressing, but obviously he needed me more than I needed assistance. And I asked if there was anyone he wanted contacting, and he refused. Eventually the ambulance came, and he shouted out a number for me, and it turned out it was for his mum. And he came in to thank me and to say he'd got a place in a hospice for end-of-life care. And that felt really good, the fact that he didn't die with nobody around him and he was going to be looked after. I'm not ashamed to admit I went home and had a good old cry that night, because it was really sad. We've equally at Western Favourable had a gentleman walk down and say he got a bomb in the back of his backpack. So yeah, it's not always the victims. We also get offenders that can be quite unpleasant. But the bigger part of it that's difficult is when you can't help customers, when it's not a police matter. You can sympathise and even empathise with them, but some people you just cannot do anything for because it's outside of our remit, or legally we can't help, and it always feels really difficult and a bit wrong to turn people away in their time of need. And I hate turning anyone away. It just doesn't sit right, but we are a police force. We can't be everything to everyone, unfortunately. I will admit when I joined I was pretty naive, but I think from a good point of view it's made me more open to the fact that things aren't black and white. People, you can't judge a book by its cover, and people do have stories, and some of those stories have taken a bad path and others have taken a good path, but ultimately when they come to us there's a reason for it.